Yo, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm reviewing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Still reeling from the loss of Gamora, Peter Quill must rally his team to defend the universe and protect one of their own. If the mission is not completely successful, it could possibly lead to the end of the Guardians as we know them. This movie is directed by James Gunn and it stars Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Dave Batista, Bradley Cooper, Vin Diesel, Karen Gillan, Poulter, Sean Gunn, Pom Klementieff, and Chukwudi Iwuji. I'm a big Marvel fan, but like a lot of other people, they've been starting to kind of lose me with this conveyor belt of just kind of mid and lackluster shows and movies. But I was actually excited to see Guardians 3 because Guardians is one of my favorite franchises in the MCU, and James Gunn is just an amazing director. I love his movies. I love these characters, and I was really interested to see how they're going to end this trilogy and wrap up everybody's story. Overall, I think this was a pretty great note to end on. This is the first Marvel movie in a long time that felt like it had actual stakes and that instantly hooked me in. This is definitely the darkest Guardians movie, and I think that tone is exactly what they needed for their finale. This movie felt epic. It's on a grander scale than volumes 1 and 2. It's long, it's got a lot of story, a lot of characters, and a lot of depth. Marvel actually did a really great job with the trailers by really not revealing anything about the movie, so I'm going to be vague and not say too much because I think the story being more of a surprise just worked really well for me. The core Guardians themes of family, love, friendship, and humanity are all there. They're just cranked up to an 11. This is a very emotional movie, a lot more emotional than I was actually expecting it to be. You really get the sense of that this is the ending and that anything can happen to anyone at any time, and I really appreciated that. The heroes usually feel safe in like all of the Marvel movies except for like some of the bigger Avengers movies, but this one had me a little tense and nervous throughout, and that's a testament to James Gunn's incredible work on the first two movies because I genuinely love these characters and I don't want to see anything bad happen to them. Everyone has their time to shine and even made me like my least favorite characters a lot more. I was never really a fan of Mantis and Nebula, but they're pretty great here. Nebula started growing on me in Endgame, but Karen Gillan is amazing in this movie and she completely won me over. Chris Pratt and Dave Batista are amazing as always as Star-Lord and Drax. Star-Lord is more serious this time around, and I think that was a good choice considering everything he's been through and where the story goes in this movie. And Dave Batista is slowly becoming one of my favorite actors. I just always love watching him on the screen. He's hilarious as always, but he brings a lot of heart and warmth to the role that just makes me love Drax as much as I do. The big standout of this movie though has gotta be Rocket. He's always been my personal favorite member of the crew, so it was really awesome to see his origin and where they took his story in this movie. He's definitely the MVP for me, and Bradley Cooper did an amazing job voicing him as always. Obviously, after the events of Infinity War and Endgame, we have a different version of Gamora in this movie, and I don't really like her that much compared to the original version of Gamora. Zoe Saldana is still great, and how she acts makes sense, and it actually adds to Star-Lord's story, but I do prefer the original Gamora. Chukwudi Iwuji as the High Evolutionary is actually a pretty solid villain. He's not necessarily the most interesting character, and his motive has been recycled by Marvel quite a few times, but I think his performance kind of enhanced the character for me. He's very unhinged and kind of creepy at times. It's a very loud performance, but I really enjoyed it. I also enjoyed Poulter as Adam Warlock. I know absolutely nothing about his character in the comics. I've just heard his name a lot. I know some people are upset with his portrayal in this movie, but I enjoyed it. I thought he was a lot of fun and had some great moments. This is Editing Johnny. I want to give a shout out to my boy Kraglin, played by Sean Gunn. I love him. I think he's super underrated. I actually wish he was in this movie more. He's kind of sidelined. He makes Yondu proud with the screen time that he gets in this movie. James Gunn's weird off-the-wall style is all over this movie, and I love it. It even feels like Marvel loosened their leash on him a little bit with some of the violence and comedy that's in this movie. You can feel the true love that he has for these characters through the screen, and I'm just so happy that he was able to tell the story that he wanted to tell. He really put his stamp on the MCU, and it was just great to see him have the chance to bookend this incredible journey that he's been taking us on for years. This movie is visually stunning like all the other Guardians movies. Lots of vibrant colors and lots of memorable shots. We also get the greatest action sequence out of all of the Guardians movies, and really just one of the best action sequences in the entire MCU with an awesome needle drop. If you've seen the movie, you know exactly what scene I'm talking about, and if you haven't seen the movie, movie, when you go to watch this movie and this scene comes on, you'll know you're watching this scene because it stands out that much, because it's that great. Guardians is definitely up there with Spider-Man and Captain America for having the best trilogies in the MCU. And James Gunn is just easily one of the greatest comic book movie writers and directors of all time. And I can't wait to see what he's cooking for DC. He's already been cooking for DC with Peacemaker and Suicide Squad. I can't wait to see what else he does. My only flaw is like slightly spoilery. I don't think it's a spoiler, but just in case, I'm going to put a little warning up. You can mute the video until the warning goes away. I'll give you a couple seconds. I hate fake deaths. They really annoy me and they really pull me out of the movie when they happen. And it's not just a this movie problem, it's really an MCU problem and just a film industry problem in general, or franchises. The scenes usually get me emotionally, and then I end up feeling like a fucking moron when they put the rug back under me right after they just pulled it out from under me. Just have balls and commit to it. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is a dark, emotional, and satisfying final chapter to one of the best stories ever told in the MCU. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is going to be clocking in at a 91% on the Bravo barometer. This movie was a lot to take in and kind of hard to rate after my first viewing. This is another movie where my rating can go up or down depending on a rewatch. I will say though, the more I think about it, the more I like it. The first Guardians is definitely still my favorite, but I like Guardians 2 a lot more than a lot of other people do. So I'm still debating if I like 2 or 3 more, but I will say Guardians 3 is one of the best Marvel movies to come out in a very long time. But that's going to do it for my video today. Thank you guys so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, just don't forget to drop a like on this video and subscribe for more videos and streams coming in the future. And let me know what you thought in the comments below and if you have any suggestions for videos that you'd want to see. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out, everybody.